Probably got you up and walking a couple hours after surgery.
Just waking up, you know, day off.
Is Tim coming?
Long weekend, long weekend.
Yeah, he didn't say he wasn't.
Okay.
Yeah,
But there's that
but I also know when to start.
Yeah,
All right, good afternoon. Mics are live if you turn the green button on. So we are recording for the public meeting. First off, in the absence of John Foster as the chair, I will run the meeting today, just to make that as simple as possible. First of all, we welcome Mayor Jordan Hansen. So congratulations, Mayor, and welcome to the city, and welcome to the Foreign Policy Defense Committee. I know you have he probably attends all of the department meetings, or tries to, or will try to anyway, but, so, very good. So yeah, we do have a few missing. Greg, we've got Carol and John, Jordan, Gow, and Tim. Okay, I'd like to call the meeting to order. First of all, attendance we just went through. Approval of the minutes from June. Let me just pull that up, lickety split here. PDFs only let me put up so many files. I need to get the full version.
Oh, gosh, man.
Okay, that was June 4th. I'll scroll through there. We had a pretty full crew, actually. Some discussion items, some of those last May events. We actually had a quite busy May. National Travel and Tourism Week was part of that. Of course, our tickets for our two major shows were on sale at that point. We spent some time on sponsorships. Asked the board to work with those, and we had some feedback. And then we discussed our brewer contract, which we're going to come back to today, and then we approved the Gold Star contract. So then we adjourned at 5:10. So we need a motion to approve minutes.
I move to approve.
Moved by Jory, second.
Second.
Second, Gio. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passed. Okay, the agenda, as written, I kind of plug in some things, Mayor, under Director's Report. There are discussion items versus listing all of them, because sometimes it leads to some other things, but these all go into the minutes. So if you didn't get an agenda, there's one over here on this. Did you get an agenda? Okay, right here, and then one more handout there. Is there anything that we wanted, Tim is not here. I'm going to check I didn't get a text from him, or because he wanted to discuss, maybe he'll show up a little bit later, but we'll hold off on it as long as we can. But if you have nothing to add or remove, we'll continue as is. Okay, Director's Report. Every week I give numbers to our customer, our customer during this summer is the CVB, the Tourism Division. So that's Jennifer and Troy and Johanna. Theme has been about 7% down from 2023. Now, 2023 was a very good year, sales-wise and visitor-wise. Occasionally I do compared to 22, 21. I'll do whatever they ask. But we've had 65,500 guests through the doors since they moved in on May 20th. Now, again, how that works is when I do the reports, we have counters on our front doors. So when you see those reports, and I've included you on those, so you saw those if you had a chance to see the email, there's a north and south. That simply means the front door's north counter or the south counter. We also have a counter on the back doors. We don't use that one because that's our employees that are coming in there. So it's quite accurate for tourism. Basketball games where we're stopped right at and these are inside the interior doors. So if you're ever wondering, there's this track up in the ceiling. That's what that is. It breaks a laser. Well, when people gather there and are making money and change and the kids are running around mom and dad, it gets a little confused. It actually goes light. So we know we're anywhere from 7 to 12% higher than what's actually counted for ball games, things like that. And we know that because we also take tickets so we know how many are actually physically in the building for those events, and we can kind of make those comparisons. So it's really quite accurate for tourism. Large groups coming in, not as much. It's just kind of an FYI. I'll cover a couple things that might be of interest to you. Events of the past. We did start our farmers market up in June, on June 12th. It's just not growing, but we're going to continue with it. You know, we moved it to the park. Everyone was pretty excited. We had 9 vendors the first night. We had 6 vendors the second night. We had 5 vendors the third night, and we'll go again tomorrow. Will be our 4th one. It's a nice shady spot. It's right where the concert is played by the amphitheater or the band shell. We're just west of that. They're very appreciative we moved over there. They're getting great crowds. Last week, there was 250 people at that concert. Our farmers market runs 5:30 to 7:30. Concert starts at 7:30. So they can stay longer if they want, and stay open. Concert goes for an hour. And so we have another vendor coming tomorrow that wasn't here before. So, and they don't have to come to everyone. They can pay per night or for this season. So we're going to continue with it. We promote it every week. You know, I'm on the radio or it's on social media. So we're doing the best we can. It's been a tough sell. It really has doing that. But we're going to continue with it. And if you have suggestions, I would more than welcome. We had 2 bike groups here last week. The Illini 4000, they drove to New York City and are bicycling to San Francisco. And they stayed overnight in our armory. And then, it's all cancer fundraising. And then one called the Texas 4000. And they are biking from Austin, Texas to Anchorage, Alaska. And we were halfway point for both groups. So we got some nice thank yous from them. We put them up in the armory overnight. They use our showers and a lot of goodwill, social media, things like that. Doesn't cost us a whole lot other than hot water. So it's always fun to see them. Upcoming events, First Friday on Friday. 2 bands on our plaza stage, all the main street. So if you're not going out of town for the holiday, come down. It should be a fun night. Looks like the weather's going to be real comfortable, to say the least. We'll be involved in the rodeo parade on the 20th with our mini Corn Palace float, promoting our festival, obviously, and our concerts. And then after the rodeo's done, you'll see that pop up around town. It'll be setting at prestigious corners around town. Everyone might take pictures of our Corn Palace float. And then, of course, the pre-Sturgis party, August 1st. So before we meet again, we will be helping host that, and the Corn Palace is a big part of that event. And of course, the city, as you know, runs that event now with partners, lots of different partners. So it's been a pretty good event. Some maintenance things, our armory floor is going to be serviced, which we did 2 years. Last time we did it, it was a full strip, painting, waxing. It had been 25 years. So we vowed not to let that happen again, because it's a wonderful space. It gets actually more use than the Corn Palace when you think about it. 7 days a week, April to October to April. So anyway, that's all fresh and new up there. Looks really sharp. And then our seats are, I think we're pretty well done shampooing. I know we're up in section C. So, you know, they're knocking off whatever, 15, 20 days, kind of whenever they get to it. So that's kind of maintenance stuff. And painting, lots of painting, which we're always doing. So any questions about events or what we got going on in the Corn Palace?
I don't have a question, but I have a comment. I know Doug and Stephanie are probably familiar with this because they heard Calvin come from the State Tourism Department last week to our board meetings. But it's interesting about the Corn Palace numbers being down a little bit from 2023 because that does reflect what Travel South Dakota is reporting. That numbers are just a little bit down, but spending is either same or up from year to date. So I found when I look at the third penny sales tax collections that they have been increasing and being percentage-wise over last year's, and hotel occupancy as well for the past 2 months have been over last year's as well. So I think something that Calvin said is they are kind of focused a little bit more on the quality of traveler versus the quantity of traveler. So they want people to come here and spend the night and purchase a hotel room and then as well as spend money here. So that's what we've been focusing on too. So it's interesting to see what Doug has and his numbers reflect what the state is telling us too.
So yeah, it's all about the dollars.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
as long as they're spending the money, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else? And were you able to get an agenda from over here? Okay, perfect. Welcome. For those watching, listening, Tim Goldhammer is in on the meeting. All right, Craig, go ahead, give us an update on tickets and festival vendors.
Festival vendors, we've got, same amount that we had last year, minus 2, one that's not coming back and one that retired. We do have one that's going to take the place of the retired, and we've actually added 3 more that have never been here before. So, tried to keep everybody a variety of different food items, so that should be good. Ticket sales, Scotty's still going well, and Skillet is picking up a little bit of steam. Hopefully, we had some radio advertising start in Sioux Falls, supposedly yesterday, and Sioux City. Hopefully, that is going to drive some sales for Skillet. Scotty, we're at 1,271 for tickets sold, and Skillet, we're about, well, less than half that at 562. So we need to pick up some steam there.
They'll be giving away tickets on a Rocks channel in both Sioux Falls and Sioux City. But the ticket giveaway is Sioux City only, I think. Right?
That's the only one that I've given any tickets to.
Yeah, they will be doing some at the Sioux Falls stations too. So our media partnership with radio, just like we are with KMIT or Results Radio or Nedved Media, we do ticket exchange for airtime and additional ads. So we did a buy down in Sioux City. The reason is because of Saul is headquartered out of there, who's with Skillet, and they played that music. So we knew that our radio here, Cool 98 and Q107, were not playing as top 40. They're not playing Skillet. So we needed to get it on radio where they were. So we are working with Pepper Entertainment, social media-wise. That took quite a bit longer than probably needed to. And there's been a few of those things this year just because that's our first time working with them on the shows. But we'll see where that goes. Lots of folks can do digital media. So you'll see these ads on Spotify when you listen to music, that kind of thing. Pop up Bidco, you'll see floaters over KELOLEN, for example, that kind of thing as well. So that'll all start coming up more and more as we get closer to end of July and then all the way to festival. And I think I'm on the radio a few more times yet this summer for the locals that are listening. Okay. Vendor-wise, we had a couple that weren't coming back, and so I reached out and say, can I ask? She said, just too many. There's just too many vendors, not enough people. So it's a fine line between having too many people selling, cheese curds and tacos or pulled pork sandwiches or whatever the case is. Some do very well, and they've got people know. Mitchell Christian, for example, they dominate at their concession stand. It's home-cooked food. It's awesome. They do it. They're fast. So it's tough to compete with them when you're around them. So, and you try not to duplicate. So we're okay being down one food vendor. We've added the soft goods vendors too, which quite honestly are a little less expense for us, and the vendor pays the same. So it's good. We're fine with that. And we have a dessert one coming in this year too, which will be kind of new. So any questions about tickets, vendors? We'll give you updates as we go along. From really mid July, that's all we're working on now. Is promoting and getting things out. Posters are going out. Invoices for sponsors are going out. Banners are being printed. All that kind of thing. So, okay. No questions, comments? All right. I'm going to move to a handout that you had regarding discounts for city employees. And this is a memo from Mayor Everson on January 9th, 2024 regarding discounts for city employees. Now, there are other places for concessions, but kind of how this came up, without getting into the weeds too far, is that we allow our folks to, that are working at the Corn Palace, so they're coming and buying lunch. Like our people just buy lunch here instead of bringing their own. Well, they had a discount. And it used to be a long time ago, they would write it down and keep tabs. And that's not good accounting. That was hard to collect and all that. So then we said, well, we would charge this discount, but then we were eating the tax on it. So now we just do regular price, and we were giving a 40% discount to our staff while they're working, not if they come for a ball game after hours. Okay, well, then it came to our attention that that probably need to be extended. Any benefits that are to any city employees should go to all city employees. Okay, so that's what this is regarding. Is that fair enough, Stephanie? Maybe you want to clarify.
I think the only clarification is that this was also reviewed by, or sent out to council. There's tax obligations for employees receiving taxable fringe benefits. And then the other thought process that went into this is being a governmental entity, you're really subsidizing with taxpayer money to fund the operations in the Corn Palace. So if you're going to give a discount, they want that to be done in public. So because the Corn Palace has a Corn Palace board, the Corn Palace board would be the one that approved it. And then if it's, Gulf Cemetery, the Gulf Cemetery board approves it. And if it's somebody else that doesn't have a board, then the city council would approve it. So the main focus was that we're compliant with any requirements with taxable fringe benefits, to make sure that the public is aware that we're offering discounts and that we're doing it in a fair and consistent manner, and that you've had the discussion publicly.
And there's a couple things regarding wellness here. We're not worried about those at this meeting,
Yeah.
particularly the concessions only. And what we're asking, and I would ask your board support of, is to allow this discount for employees at Corn Palace concessions while working. Greg we did a cost analysis, 40% more than covers our cost of product in all areas. So we don't ever lose money by selling it for that. Everything from a bottle of water to a coffee to chicken sandwich, whatever it might be. So,
You would also want to include that you're doing the free pop and popcorn for all of the Corn Palace staff.
okay, we want to put,
And chamber staff, or whoever else
The
there-
visitor center
yeah.
staff, yep.
which is not part of this, but we can certainly discuss that with you. So when our staff are here,
No, actually, so my understanding, Doug, was that any discounts that are being provided that aren't just given to the general public need to be approved by your governing body. So the fact that the general public can't come in and get free pop and popcorn, they just want the board to have that discussion and the board to take action on it, whether or not to approve it. So it's on the record in the open.
sure. So what we're doing, so when our staff are working, that includes our concession kids, decorators, Craig or I, okay? When you're working, coffee, fountain pop, and popcorn at no charge when you're working. So think of a mid-morning snack, and you'll see me do that. I'll go next door, get a little tote or a popcorn, that's my snack, or a coffee in the morning, for example, or afternoon. So those are the two things that we're giving to staff. 40% on any other item free to staff when they're working, not when they come here for events. So what we look for is a motion to approve those two discounts, or I guess I call them discounts.
I guess just to clarify, if you're also providing free for the visitor center staff, that should be included in the discussion and the approval.
Okay, so, and they get a discount. They get a,
They get free
They
pop
get free
and
pop and
pop as
popcorn.
well.
but they don't get a 40% discount.
No,
No,
I'm
they
just
get-
saying, but
They
it-
get a discount.
Do you want, yeah, they get a 25% discount.
Anybody that's getting a discount.
that's not offered, yes.
Needs to be discussed here so that people will know what's going on, so that everyone knows what's going on.
Right. Anything that's not offered to the general public needs to be discussed by this board and approved.
Okay, so there's three things, and maybe to break that down. Visitors center staff, so gift shop staff, for example, not Corn Palace employees, get a 25% discount on items, okay? City staff while working, 40% discount on items. Corn Palace staff and visitor staff are able to receive 3 items at no charge: coffee, fountain pop, popcorn while working. Those are the 3 items available.
Does that cover everyone that gets any sort of discount?
Yes.
Okay, and that's what she's
Yeah,
looking for. So
thank you.
Just making sure we're good.
Any questions about those or concerns? Part of me, I was kind of bristled up about that because, I haven't worked a lot of places. I've been in education 30 years, but multiple schools. and you just had the community coffee pot, or even a water fountain, or, whatever. But when we're in city government, you have to do things a little differently,
For
so.
the transparency of it, and so the general public knows what's happening, since there's general fund money that goes to support the operations of the Corn Palace.
If there's no other questions or concerns or discussion, we would take a motion to approve those three items, discounted and/or free items.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Steve, second by Gio. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor of these discounts for official, please vote aye.
Aye.
If those opposed, nay. Okay, motion passed. All right. Tim, you had asked about a discussion of some alcohol prices for festival shows. I think that was you. So I said I would bring back some information on that. So let's take a look at what we've got going on here. Okay, so currently, for festival shows, different than outside simply because we have different portions. Okay, when we go outside, like for pre-Sturgis, we use a different cup. When we do First Friday. So this is just concerts. Currently, this is our cost for domestic beers, and this is the vast majority of what we're selling. Okay, you'll notice these are all 12-ounce beer. Okay, cost per can. These are our costs for these mixed cocktails, which are pretty popular, and some of our seltzers that are pretty popular. We are charging $5 for all of those. Okay?
Hey, you gotta go up on those seltzers about $2.
And then we did, when we do a 6-pack, so we'll do a bag for concerts, which is really quite convenient because it helps pick up the garbage as well. We don't have cans all over. So we'll do 25 for a 6-pack of domestics. Now, we have some of the specialty beers, IPAs, things like that, but we'd have to charge more for, but. So this is one category of beers. Here's our seltzers cocktails. Yes, I would agree. We'd have to charge at least $6 for those. Okay? And now, before we get into discussion, kind of our cocktails. So we sell a 16-ounce mixed drink. Okay? And the vast majority of those, for ease of calculations, is a 2-ounce pour, okay, of liquor, and then the mix. Our cups are 50 cents. Our Corn Palace cups that those go in are 50 cents a piece. And then we have a mix of juice. You're talking with ice. You're talking 4 ounces, 5 ounces of mix and 2 ounces of alcohol, okay, in there, which is another 25 cents. Our cost for the liquor is listed here, and these are by far the most common that we serve. Okay, we are charging $7 for those. Okay, and we take cards and cash, of course.
Do you wanna keep them all at the same price?
Well,
I mean,
here's something to consider. When we're doing our beer sales, we have our show choir parents assist with that, okay?
well, I know the difference when you're outside, I understand the liquor needs to be at a certain price, but inside, it should be always more. People go to concerts, they're gonna spend the money. They can't be the same price as, or lower.
This is what we would charge Friday night, same thing.
Only
yes.
$7?
Outside for the,
What about inside?
this is what we've charged.
Oh, I would go up $1.
$3.
But when I thought you were asking about difference, it's not difficult, but when you have top shelf, so we can have, for example, Crown Royal, you can see is a substantial bit
I
higher.
would think your Crown Jack and Kettle would be more.
Jack Daniels actually is, is a little bit.
Do you do, oh my God, do you do 2-ounce pours or 1 ounce at Thirsties?
2 ounce.
What about Thirsties?
Yeah.
Oh,
You do 2?
Yeah.
At the last Corn Palace meeting, you said you were going to call other local venues. Did you get any numbers from what they were saying? selling beers for?
Well, we did. So the Thomas Rhett concert was up at Huron, and they were substantially higher, substantially higher.
How much substantial? How much more higher?
$9.
For beers or for?
They were 60-ounce beers?
Yeah.
Yeah, $9 for 16 ounce. But I also know, and I don't think that's a good gauge. At State Fair last year, they were charging $5. Now, they did use a ticketing system, which they tend to like, where you go to one table and buy tickets, and then what happens is people don't have tickets left, you just walk out and it's free money. But I'm personally not in favor of that, because 2 reasons. One, you're waiting in another line, which people hate to wait in lines, and you need more bodies. And we always have a hard time getting enough bodies the way it is. So our bartenders, and we have plenty we have plenty of help selling beer at concerts. We're very, very, very fast, very efficient, but we want to keep it pretty simple. Now, we could have a section and say, okay, these are $6 or $7 beers, and these are $5 and $6 beers, whatever it is. But we want to be pretty consistent. You're going to make more on some, less on others, but being consistent, not making a mistake. This is a $7 one versus like our carbless, for example. That's a different section. So that person knows, hey, we're charging more.
So Doug, how much, if you were to take an average night, what would you say that the percentage sales of each of those things are? What do you get the most sales out of? I would assume like you do a lot with the,
So Busch Lights King.
okay, what about so out of all of the options, the thing you sell the most of is Busch Light?
Absolutely. Of beer, yes. We'll sell more beer than hard liquor. Yes. 2 to 1. Easily. Dollar guys.
Why are you giving such a big discount on a bucket of beers? I'm just wondering why.
Well, part of it is making change. It would be 30, right? 6 times 5 is 30. So if you do it for 28, it's about working with 5s and ease of making change.
Well, because you buy 5, you get one free.
Yeah.
Doug, do you use, on your liquor, do you use any kind of pour control?
It depends on the bartender, but honestly, what we do, we
So
know
like the bottle tops don't have any kind of pour
No.
control on there?
But we have 2-ounce jiggers, is what we use.
Do they use those?
Yeah, it depends.
And
When I was a bartender, nobody used them,
Yeah, I was gonna say, I've also bartended and never once used a jigger.
for sure.
But here's I didn't bring a cup with me, but here's what we typically do. When we fill our glass with ice, and we do go through this, we fill our glass with ice, we know that when we pour 2 ounces, we've got the bottom with the Corn Palace logo, that's 2 ounces. So when you have your ice in it, then you pour your liquor in, that's where that goes, that's 2 ounces. So they have a mark on the cup, it's very easy to notice, and that's what they stop.
And every bartender that I've ever talked to knows that if you put a little bit more in there, you might get a little bit bigger tip. And then you take a little
Absolutely.
bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
lying, yeah.
And it's, we do training, yes. I mean, the bartenders we use actually are bartenders. They work at other venues too. So it's not, we're not the only ones using them, and I'm confident in their
You
abilities.
get pours that click, too.
Yeah.
We do have those. They get sticky, and then they don't pop down, and,
You just gotta wash.
I'll be very honest with you, that the quickest way is simply hold the cup, boom, there it is. And that works quite well, and it's very consistent.
I'm asking for my drink for no ice, then what?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it be some people there. No ice. They wanna see what you do.
They're usually pretty.
So what we would take is suggestions, what you want us to go to, and I guess we'd want to approve them. So if Craig will catch the blunt of this up front, what? So some venues are the big beers. They're a little, we don't have a lot of space, so we've consistently used 12-ounce cans, but that doesn't mean we can't go to the bigger ones.
I hate the bigger ones. They get worn fast, even for me. I know, even for me.
And this is a substantial part of our revenue when we'll get to this.
Did you call any other venues locally? Any other?
No, I didn't, but we have John Foster's also in the bar business too, so we have a couple of experts on the board.
I just went to a concert in Las Vegas. My wife ordered a 12-ounce wine. It was $60.
Yeah.
Well, that's
It was ridiculous. I'm not saying we need to charge $60
You
for wine.
will see me lobby because we are where we are. Now,
When was the last time these prices were changed?
Maybe we went from 4 to 5 on the beers, maybe 2 years ago. We were at 4, and then we went to 5.
How much of the prices of beer and?
Beer has not honestly changed much. It really hasn't. This has been consistent here since I've been here.
I feel like Bud Light's been
Yeah.
75
The
cents.
carbless is a
10
new,
years.
these mixed cocktails have really taken off. We're limited on the ones because of our, we have an exclusive agreement with L Wine
The crazy thing
Distributing.
about those $5 of beer, they're $5.50 at Thirsty. So how are they $5 at a concert?
Yeah, usually you pay for the concert and then everything else is,
And,
more
and
expensive.
I'm not saying, that's why I will pass it on to you. That's not a problem for me. We'll get our posters made, and they're always new anyway with what we have to offer, so not an issue. That's why we're here. If you wanna go to $6 and $8 or $7, obviously the carbless have to be substantially more in our mixes. That includes some of our teas, things like that. Those are all in that $1.75 to $2.
And that's what people expect to pay for those beers. When they see it at that price, they're like, oh.
Oh, this is a deal.
Oh.
And there's a point of diminishing return where, you would buy, 6, and now you might buy 2 or 3, I mean, I don't know what that number is. It would be by the person. You would have no idea.
I can
No,
tell
we
you.
I wouldn't worry
If you get a
about it.
bucket at Thirsties, it'd be $27.50. And then that's only 30.
A bucket of domestics?
Yeah,
$27?
no, not domestics, for like the carbless.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And I would add, the district for a single mixed drink is like $12, because you buy 2 and it's like 24.
What do you expect to pay for a mixed drink? at a
That's
concert?
4.5 a piece.
I feel like we have to
deal.
go- huh?
It's usually
That's
over
4.5 a piece. More
Is it
Yeah.
over 10?
10, 12 bucks.
But you get 6 beers in a bucket.
'cause
So 10 wouldn't be outrageous?
No.
No.
It's a nice
you
even
said those
number
are
and a
carblesses.
nice place to start.
What's your bucket of?
especially when your ticket's $40 for the
Well, and-
concert.
And a crown, I think should be
So
more,
you're selling
Yeah.
those as a substantial discount. I mean,
Anything
We'll
else.
It's a bar.
give you the beer free. It depends on the happy hour.
it's justified by its cost.
What's a Crown Mixie cost in a bar right now?
A double, $13.50, baby.
What's a single?
7.
So you're at the same number. How about
For
you?
a single.
Right.
Yeah, for a single, yeah.
Is that a 1 ounce?
7.50, yeah. 1.5, but yeah.
So these are 2 ounces for the same price, so essentially you're half price.
Yeah, but I know when I come to a concert, it's double the price.
Mm-hmm.
We go
That's
up,
what I,
if we go,
usually you expect.
if we go up $1 around the board, no one's even gonna flinch at that. And Busch Light should be where that, you come up a little bit on the other beers, that's what people expect. They expect Busch Light to be cheaper.
Yeah.
They're like, Busch Light the same as Coors, like,
Yeah, or a seltzer, right?
Yeah. No one's gonna blink an eye and we'll make so much more money.
I agree.
It is substantial. I mean, going from 4 to 5, when you sell,
When they come here
6,000
for the concert, they're not looking.
when we
at
sell
what the
6,000
price
Yeah.
cans, it was $6,000. So it's substantial. And I'll be very honest with you, we, at Hairball, we had not more than enough drinking going on.
My experience with the mixed drinks here at the Corn Palace, because I don't drink beer, is that they're always very strong. I usually drink like half of what I need at the
Really?
district.
is. Definitely
I think
go
you
up.
should go 10 for the mixed drinks and more for the crown.
I think that if you set Kettle One, Jack Daniels, and Crown Royal as a premium alcohol and charged
Yep.
$11 or $12 for that, and then charged a lesser amount, like 10, for something that was, even
Shelf.
Grey Duck vodka or whatever it would be, the Shelf, the Well. If you had 2 offerings and just limited it to like that, those 2, I think that would be, nobody that drinks would blink an eye at that. And then I think the beer prices could go up to even $7 for your light beers, and then your seltzers could even be 8 or 9, personally. And then I'll write a letter that Craig, all your employees can write me and complain to me, because I'm the one that suggested the price.
Nobody's going to complain, Tim.
And then, and on that note, it could be like a record-breaking alcohol sale year.
Well, I mean, you could look at it this way. By adjusting your prices to be more competitive with other entities, you're also opening the door to additional revenue to bring in different acts in the future. I mean, really, that's why you're looking at this, right?
Yes.
Is where's the revenue to support what you want to bring in? That's how you
create additional revenue.
Not only that, but it also goes back to eventually we're going to need to do some major work on the Corn Palace and be able to afford to do those kinds of things like,
And justify it to people.
yes. And so getting our costs in line and it, it goes back to if you lose a third of your customers, but you're charging 2/3 more money, did you really lose out? Like, I don't know that if we sold $6,000 beer cans last year and we sold 5,000, but we made $2 more, the cost differential there could potentially pay for itself.
Okay, so what we would need is a motion put together. That's why I'm hearing 12 and 10 for cocktails, top shelf versus, well drinks type. And these are not, again, I will say these are mixed drinks, not cocktails. My sons would always say that. That's not a cocktail. We're not garnishing anything. It's about speed and just get them through, But I think we do a nice job as far as the mixes. We hear that. So, and then on the beer, I'm hearing 7 and 8. 7 for the domestics, and then 8 for the carbless and some of the craft brew that we would have. I mean, we could actually get like a craft brew. There's some out there pretty comparative to domestics. Actually, I'm trying to think of the one on Heineken. It's in a green can though. It's good,
Stella?
Yeah, no, Stella's a little higher, but either way. So 7 and 8, the 10 and 12 is what we've heard. So and then what would we?
What'd you want to do for seltzers, Tim?
Yeah, is that
Well,
enough of a
they
bump
would
for the
have to-
seltzers?
They thought about the 8 for carbless and seltzers. Some of the seltzers are cheaper, and again, we want to keep it a little bit consistent just for the bartenders, so they're not, oh, that's the $7 one and not the $8 one. I think that. I mean, the booze, we have some top shelf booze, that's on a different section,
I think if you raise the cocktail, you could justify an $8 or $9 seltzer drink. I think that, because, most of those contain one shot, and so now your comparable vodka drink is going to be $10, and so it's actually still cheaper to buy the pre-made seltzer.
Well, and that is part of that. We actually make much more on the mixed drink than we do selling the blackberry vodka, for example. But they're very popular. In fact, we could sell a lot of different styles, but just inventory-wise, and we're restricted a bit on our agreement that we have on which ones we can sell, which is what I'm fine with. I mean, they support the Corn Palace in a big way, so we're actually in our last year of that agreement, so we'll have to re-up that if we're going to or go away from it. Anyway, okay, so right now we're hearing 12 and 10, 7 and 8. And then we can come back, and obviously Craig and I have to have a little bit of flexibility to list those.
I don't know if it's enough, and I don't drink carbless.
Keep in mind, it's
I think so too. I think if you can get a mixed drink for 10,
It's cheap.
and carbless has the
People
same
go buy them
alcohol.
carblesses, I'm telling you. I can sell out of them.
well, the carbless is a 12 ounce, our mixed cocktails are 16. So,
But it's the amount of alcohol inside, right?
It's
That's
still
what we're
the
talking
same,
about, not
yeah.
yeah.
there would be less alcohol in the 12 ounce. It's still 4% content on the carbless, or 6, something like that.
Yeah, it's
I
like
still think you
6.
could charge $9.
I do too.
You'd have a hard time selling any of those at the same price as a mixed drink.
I think you guys do whatever
I mean,
you want, but I think it's worth
I
a
haven't
shot.
been.
When I went to the bar, I'd never had anyone say, how much is that? I'm not drinking.
I want to go to a concert.
The carbless or the seltzers,
No, there were 10 that
Yeah.
Tom was read.
they were.
Yeah.
I think you can go 9.
I know what, the fare is not that high. I did check with them too. They were actually $5 12 ounce beers.
But
Ticket,
that's different. The fares, you mean
state fair.
while you mean for the concert?
Concert, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was inside.
Okay, sorry.
The concert last year.
I'll pay attention to the Sioux Empire Fair this year.
Well, and quite honestly, we can adjust up till, 2 weeks before, we're getting our signage made for that. So we can come back in August and, if you want to take this information.
No point in waiting, I don't think.
I mean, these are current prices, so
Do we want to do any kind of discount for bulk purchases of beer still? I mean, definitely not going to charge $25 for a six-pack anymore. But is there?
How much you going per beer?
It'd be 7.
7, so it's 35 for a six-pack. You can-
Get a free popcorn ball.
No.
So it would be 42, you'd sell it for a six-pack for 35, if that was the case.
I think I'm fine with that.
I do too.
Sure.
Or 40.
We're all thinking
That's
about
just-
circulating
I
how much
know.
more we're gonna have to
On that
do.
coat. Hurry up.
Yeah, I say,
Yes.
people don't go to concerts looking for discounts. That's just my opinion.
I do think that people will buy a six-pack if you give them a little bit of a deal as opposed to.
And they mix those two.
Yes,
Yeah.
Dean, I think we want to continue to promote an individual coming up and buying for their group, whether they're getting a six-pack or whatever, to alleviate lines, but I don't think we need to give a huge dollar discount.
And I will bring up something that the bartenders would probably, if you make it $37, chances are they're going to tip
They
you
go,
the 3.
you go get the 3.
That's
You're going to get the 3.
And
You know,
40 bucks.
if you make it 36, you're going to get the 4. They're going to spend 40 for sure.
Like, I paid $87.50 in Nashville for 12 beers. Get the $100 bill.
Exactly.
$9 on the carbless though,
Yep.
Oh, 9?
Yeah.
please.
You make money, they make money.
Were you guys wanting, I heard some.
Do we want to do 9 and the seltzers as well? I don't know, is there the big
$3 for slamming 6 beers in
between
a
a seltzer and a
bag isn't too bad.
carbless?
I don't know about seltzers. They're lower cost,
Yeah,
so
I'd keep it at
you think so?
We're not gonna sell any seltzers, we just sell the carbless.
Oh.
Really?
So I think we want to minimize complications. If somebody wants a Mike's Hard Lemonade, they're gonna pay $9.
Yeah, we have to keep it a little bit consistent there.
So you're saying we should do the seltzers the same as the carbless? 9 each?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's just my opinion. I don't have a vote.
I just don't know about
No,
seltzers.
I agree with you. I mean, as long as we're going up on, liquor,
I did not check with lemonades, I'll be honest with you, because we get most of those, we have to use the Elwine product, and they aren't carrying those lemonades anymore. They're carrying the Arnold Palmer's is all that they've got. So the Bud Light lemonades, all that, they don't carry, they weren't selling. So the ones that you buy at Gio's place we can't have available. But we have plenty of options. I mean, we hear a little bit about it, but not a huge complaint. They usually find something.
So seltzers, I think that we decided 9.
Oh yeah, that's same as,
Yeah, that'd be consistent then. And then on the six-pack, are we thinking 38?
or 37.
9 times.
Well, it's,
You're at 42. If you make it 35, you might get the 5 for the bartender. You got to figure out about who's working, you know what I mean?
well, that's a little bit of a concern is, the tips, that's not why we do that, but they obviously we don't pay our bartenders as much because they're keep their tips too. So, that will definitely make a difference for them.
We pay them more than minimum though, right?
We pay more than most bars,
Yeah,
yes.
That's what I thought.
Yes. Okay, well,
so what is the six-pack going to be?
whoops, sorry, domestics would be 35. Is that right? They'd normally be 42.
I think it should be more.
I don't have a vote either, but I would agree with you.
Because that's a that's a free beer, I got it, but I think you
So
should,
they would be 42 if you paid regular price.
right, so I think 37,
Yeah,
38,
37?
that's where your bartenders.
37 is like a 10% discount.
That's good.
That's fair.
St. Sam's Club. So, yeah, sounds right.
Do you do buckets on seltzers and carbless as
We
well?
do, yep. Well, we were because they were the same price as beer. And
course.
mix and match. We'll have to come up with that. Let me work on that.
That comes out to $54. 9 times 6. I don't know.
How
I
about
need
if
a
I bought
calculator
6
for that.
Captain Morgans at once, do I get a discount?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Yes.
I have to cut you off.
Yeah.
Well,
$54. So you- You probably want to go
I
like
can-
49 or something on the,
Buy 6, get 1 free.
Well, and I think it's important to remember that one of the reasons why you do bulk discounts on canned beverages is because the idea is that you're trying to give them an opportunity to do something fast to get them through the line, to get them back out into the concert.
Prepaid punch tickets on liquor, and if you don't use it, the money's gone. I don't know, just idea.
What was that, Gio? Sorry.
Like a prepaid punch card on liquor, if you don't use it,
Oh.
you lose it.
Well, and that is there are venues that do that. I'm not saying that's not a bad idea. I will say we went away from it at the Pheasant Banquet, and they think, oh my gosh, why did we do that all those years? The lines.
Oh, especially in a deal like that.
And the lines to get your drink. And we just eliminate it, and they'll never go back to it. But, okay, so we need a motion for new prices, as described, however you want to keep it simple. I don't know that we need to go into all of these specifics, but we have them recorded. So a motion to approve new concert prices for alcohol.
I motion.
A motion by Gio to approve these new prices for 2024 festival. Is there a second? Second by Jory. Any further discussion? All right, a vote. Aye in favor?
Aye.
Nay opposed? Okay, motion passes. Thank you. We will,
Doug, in a similar sense, I guess I do have a question. During First Fridays last month, I happened to notice that our canned beer sales were the same price as tap beer sales at, from across the alley. And so from a cost perspective, does that make, I guess I don't understand the cost perspective of us trying to compete with local business when we're taking a higher hit. It feels like we're subsidizing drinking then, because we're paying more for the product than what I'm sure Bradley's pay because it's a tap beer, and giving a discount, I don't know, it just seemed awkward to me.
so they were, right, they were charging 3 and 4 for their tap beers, and we were charging 4.
Yeah.
4.
We were
Which-
five prior to that.
We were 5, I said, same kind of thing. Now, if you want to be, but do you want to sell or not? I will tell you, if we're $1 higher, we're not selling, I mean, why would you? It's 50 feet to get one for $3 or $4, we're 5. And that's the reason I went to 4, because we know what our costs are, and we had decent sales. I don't know, I forget the number, $2,800 maybe, the first Friday, total. You know, that's gross sales. But I agree, and I see that too. But I wouldn't call it subsidizing or competing, but if you don't want to have a bar out there, that makes my life a whole lot simpler too. But I will tell you, that's $2,800 in sales that we had. And we're getting nothing off of that stage, you know, obviously supporting, that's our job, is to support that event. So the bar is our way of pulling something out of that, you know, to support the Corn Palace. We've got staff working, obviously. But
I don't know
you're
what the right
thinking we
answer
should
is.
be higher?
I don't necessarily know that it's higher, it seems odd to me that we're charging for a canned beer what the competitor, in this case, is charging equal or less than for a cheaper product. And, I mean, I personally don't feel that it's any of the city's duties or any of the city entities should be trying to, like, compete with local business when we're using taxpayer dollars to then subsidize that difference, if that makes sense.
I guess I'm a little confused.
So
What would you think we should charge?
I don't know that answer, because like you said, if you charge a lot more, it's probably not going to.
Well, we're not going to work with pennies or
Yeah.
change, right? I will tell
Yes.
you that. 'Cause that just gets too messy.
Yeah.
I think what he's saying is we are below market value and in effect competing with private business.
Yes, and I don't feel like that's right for a government agency to do. In any capacity, not just this event, but.
so are you thinking maybe we shouldn't even sell beer?
Again, I don't have that final answer, but I think that if we're going to do it, it's a canned product. It should cost more money, and that is what it is. I mean, in any other place, a canned beer costs more money.
I will tell you, obviously, the scoreboard is our biggest competitor for those events. And again, we're not, and I don't even see it as competition. We're simply providing to the crowd so that there's not lines. But they sell very little liquor And we sell more of that than, by far, than they do.
Oh, you do?
Oh, yes, but much less beer. Yeah, they do not sell any mixed drinks,
Okay.
which we do.
So last
Because
First
of the
Friday,
price?
I was at the scoreboard, and I didn't drink a single tap beer because I don't like tap beer. So I paid $6 for a bottle of Miller Lite. And I could have got a can from us for $5.
For 5 or?
We were at $5 before, and then we lowered it to $4.
So you saying just don't change the price, keep it at 5?
I would
I'm
say that's a
confused a
good-
little bit. If we left it at 5, then we're,
It don't seem like we're in
because
competition.
I mean, if I did these prices out on the street, it's not going to work at all, right? It's just not.
I understand the difficult prediction I am putting you in and asking this board to think about, but when us as a government agency uses any part of what we have and I mean, the Corn Palace is paid for with taxpayer dollars, it just doesn't feel right to do that to a business that is right next door in any capacity. And that would be if Parks and Rec had concessions and they were trying to outprice the business across the street, I'd tell them the same thing. From me as a council member, that's my philosophy. And I guess the other question I would then have is if your liquor is selling so much better, is that because our price point was not competitive with market? And I don't.
No, and I would say, again, I don't think we're competing. It's more about handling the load at First Fridays. You know, people are milling around. They go kind of wherever there's not a line. You know, they might have 12 people in line over there. We might have 4. You know, they might gravitate over. But some go there to get their beer and come to us for their cocktail. We saw that many times. Because again, everything's in a same cup.
So what is the cocktail price?
And that's different because it's a 12 ounce. That's a 12 ounce cup. So we were $6 outside for 12 ounce and less alcohol.
So you're selling it less than that number outside?
Less than 7, yes. Well, yeah, we were, because it's a 12 ounce drink. We were 6 versus 16.
Just to clarify, I thought you said it was the same inside and outside.
The cups are different. It
But-
depends on the event. Like when we do, well, we were 6 and 4, right? That's First Friday?
The answer to your question is, for First Friday, they have a
Yeah.
plastic cup that they have to use to be.
That's a
able to walk
12 ounce
around.
cup
That's
versus,
tied to the consumption.
I just thought, I thought, and maybe it's my
Yeah.
fault, I thought
So
the prices inside and the prices outside were the same. Okay, my mistake.
yeah, they won't be, no, they won't be. The concert prices are what you set on. What we do outside
Gotcha.
is going to be different, correct? And we kind of set that based on the event. Because again, the cup size changes, you know, and you just have to, otherwise you're not going to sell anything. Maybe that's the route you want to go, but
But does the alcohol content, like, do you still do a 1 ounce or 2 ounce pour?
we do 1.5. Yep. I mean, we try to. It's the same kind of thing, right? Some are going to get less, some are going to get more, but yeah, we try to stay a 1.5 and 2 ounce on the 16 ounce drinks. Okay?
Because I guess for me personally, I would think that if you charge $5 for the cans of beer outside and $7 for the mixed drinks, you're still competitive to market and nobody's gonna, I don't think anyone's gonna be like, oh, I can go wait in another line for another $1 in savings. They're gonna buy what they're in line for. I don't know that, that's just where I'm at with that.
And if you got a shorter line over here, I'm going over there.
I agree.
Well, we can do that Friday. Test it out. We'll have a little data for you on, in August. Go 5 and 7. We'll let you know. We have June to compare it to. Maybe we can't because it was bad weather. We had a small crowd. Okay. Anything else on that? We'll move into executive session. We need a motion to move into executive session.
Motion.
Motion by Gio.
I'll second the motion.
Second. All in favor?
Hi.
Any opposed? Okay, mics are back on. Executive session will exit, no action is taken. Next meeting, Tuesday, August 6th, 4 PM, here at council chambers. With that, I take a entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Gio, is there a second? Second by Gene, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign? All right. Well, happy 4th of July. If you're traveling, safe travels to our listeners and to the board. Be safe out there. And again, if you're not leaving town, come down to Mitchell Main Street,
The board.
first Friday on
Actually,
Friday.
we can just declare it adjourned. You don't need to take motion to adjourn. Yeah.
Well, we'll see how much time you see your next.